Alright, hi YouTube. So today I'm going to be planting fall crops, and I'm going to show you a little how-to on how to do it, and I'm also going to give you some tips and pointers along the way. So stay tuned, and I'll tell you what's going on. So I have some really great compost that I have in this wheelbarrow right here. And as you can see, it's really good compost. So I'm just going to load this spot up here. And if you remember in past videos, this is where my celery was. This is not going to be lettuce. Alright, now that I have the bed filled up, I'm just going to turn it over into the soil to incorporate it. A huge biker gang just went by. Wow, that was a big biker gang. I've never seen that many go by. There's probably a good 25, 30 bikes going by. Alright, so I think we got this pretty well incorporated. So now I'm just going to smooth it all out, make it look pretty. And that turned out really, really well. Soil looks nice and dark, which is what we're looking for. And it's really important to always rejuvenate the soil with more nutrients, because after you grow stuff, it takes it when it grows. And some plants like tomatoes really take it up. And celery is a fairly heavy feeder, but not as heavy as like tomatoes. So you don't have to worry as much, but I still like to make it a nice practice to always do it no matter what crop I'm putting in. Except for beans. Beans are one of the only ones you really don't have to put much rejuvenation into the soil, because they do that already. In fact, if you have any beans at home, you can actually till them into the soil, and next year it'll be better off than it was when you first started. So there's a little tip for you. Okay, so now that I have this all worked up, I'm going to basically draw my rows, and today we'll be planting some Paris Island COS or COS, and that's basically a romaine type lettuce. You can see that right there. And these are really great seeds. I like them. They're not organic seeds, but my methods are organic, so I figure that makes up for it. So, and then we also have our tag. And by the way, I got these tags. Normally you get them at Meijer's for about $20, $25 in a pack for about $2. These are just a little bit flimsier, but work just great. These are actually for like arts and crafts and stuff, and price tags. And I actually bought them on eBay for a pack of 500 for about $12 with free shipping. So you really can't go wrong with that, and even came with a free marker. So that's really great that I got those. So I don't think I'll ever run out, but you always lose some here and there just in the soil or over time pulling out plants and whatnot. So they're really nice to have. So now that we're drawing our rows, you want to plant your lettuce about a ½ inch deep, ¼ inch deep. You generally don't want to plant the seed any more than 3 times the thickness of the seed. So if the seed, let's say, is 1 inch deep, the maximum depth you can plant it is 3 inches. But generally with seeds, you don't want to plant it any deeper than about 2 times its thickness, because any deeper than that, it tends to have a hard time coming up. And I like to alleviate any stress that I'm going to have on the seed so I have a good sprouting ratio. But I generally plant my my rows about 6 inches apart. I find that completely sufficient for lettuce. You can always plant it further apart. I mean, the package here says 18 inches, which is absolutely ridiculous because you know, these, they do get big, as you can see in the picture. They do get big, but you don't need 18 inches. I mean, basically here we're trying a square foot method, so you're really not going to need 18 inches. So I'm going to get this packet open here and just sprinkle some into your hand like that. And you're really not going to need too very many, because once you get some to sprout, you're going to be thinning them out anyways. So just plant one about every 2 inches, and then by the time you're done with seed sprouting and stuff, you're going to have enough to thin out some either way. Unless you're really skimpy on seeds, I'd plant about 2 every 6 inches. That way you only have to thin one out. But I generally just sprinkle them there, and then I thin out later. But you know, the method that I use isn't really the method you have to use. It's just the method that usually works for me. So I'm just gonna sprinkle those in there, and then we're gonna cover up our rows. Really no science to it. Cover them up really nicely. And then we're going to water those in. Now another thing, oops, forgot the tag, but another thing that you're going to want to do when you plant is, being that this is a spring or fall crop, you're going to want to have some hay readily available, or straw. Hay or straw. I use straw because it's cheaper, but whatever you have is fine. You can also use grass clippings or leaves if you're trying to go cost efficient. But being it fall or spring crop, you're going to want to have some sort of insulator, because if the cool spring air or cool fall air drop too low, then the roots will turn into shock from the frost or really cold weather, and it'll die off, and you'll lose your crop and lose the opportunity to have some nice fall vegetables. So you're really going to want to have an insulator. Now in summer, obviously you're not going to need that as much, but in the summer there's another use for it, and you can use them in the summer for a insulator for heat as well. It keeps the cool weather in, so it doesn't fry the roots, and it also holds in moisture, so that's also a dual purpose for it. But you generally don't want to put it on when you first plant plants, because as a mulch, that's another thing I was going to tell you. As a mulch, it will keep weeds down, but in the beginning when you first plant seeds, like I just did, you don't want to put the straw or hay on the seeds, because just as it blocks out the weeds, it'll also block out the seedlings as well. So you want to just generally keep it just clean and free of debris. And then once your plants come up and you see you have a nice plant starting, you can do your thinning, and then just take your mulch or whatever you're going to use and put that around the plants as well, and that'll protect the roots and keep any weeds from competing with water and nutrients. So thank you once again for tuning in to MIgardener, and hopefully you guys have enjoyed this nice little how-to. And remember to check us out on the web at www.facebook.com, and remember the /MIgardener, and you should find us. We got a lot of forums, we got a lot of opportunities for you to learn something and for you to teach other people. So it's not just me teaching you. So I thank you so much for tuning in, and remember to rate, comment, and subscribe, and also remember, grow big or go home. Bye.